Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping into the source material for a technology called ENTIFY. And let me tell you, it makes some absolutely massive claims about rebuilding the internet from the ground up. All right, so to really get what ENTIFY is trying to do, we first have to understand the problem they say they're solving. And in their view, it's not just a few small issues, it's a full-blown crisis. I mean, this is the line they lead with. It's a pretty bold opening statement, right? They're basically arguing that the entire foundation of our digital lives is cracked and starting to fall apart. And you can see why they'd say that. We're getting to a point where we can't even trust our own eyes and ears. Deepfakes are becoming so good, telling fact from fiction is almost impossible. Then you've got the bots. Social media platforms, comment sections, they're just flooded with them. They're programmed to manipulate conversations and drown out actual human opinion. And of course, there are the scammers. It's getting terrifyingly easy for someone to impersonate a person you trust, a family member, your bank, anyone really. The risk is just through the roof. And while all that is happening, our personal data is being vacuumed up and sold by huge corporations. Our identities are scattered across countless databases, completely out of our control. So if the internet is collapsing under mistrust, what's the solution? Well, the vision they present is, it's an entirely new kind of network. They call it a private identity network. And the core idea, the big promise, is that every single node, every single participant on the network is a verified, living, breathing human being. No fake accounts, no bots, no corporate profiles, just people. The thinking goes like this. If your digital world feels like it's drifting away from what's real, what do? Well, you find a way to anchor it back to reality, back to actual physical people. Okay, so that's the what, but how in the world does it actually work? Well, the documents lay out something they call a trust loop, and it all starts with you, your real physical identity. And this is where it gets really fascinating. They use this term, a conscious biometric autograph. Now, this isn't just you typing a password. Think of it more like a combination of a sworn legal statement saying, I am who I say I am, and a super advanced cryptographic seal that locks it down. And it's all created and held by you, completely offline. This slide really shows you the whole process, this loop of trust. So it starts with your identity sealed offline. That's step one. Then that identity is tied to a piece of physical hardware, like a card or a phone. And get this, that hardware talks to other devices over a radio mesh net. No internet, no cell towers needed. That mesh net then powers their blockchain. And because every single person is already proven to be real before joining, the network doesn't have to burn tons of energy constantly re-verifying everyone. And here's the magic trick. Because everyone's real from the get-go, the network itself becomes trustworthy. They say it uses something called zero-knowledge proofs. The best way to think about it is this. You can prove to a bouncer you're over 21 without ever showing them your ID. They don't see your name, your address, nothing. They just get a simple, cryptographically secure yes. That's the idea here. You can prove you're a real human without revealing who you are. Okay, so that's the tech deep dive, but let's bring it back. If this actually works the way they say it does, what does that mean for you as a regular person? Well, they frame it as taking back ownership of your digital self. They draw a really stark contrast here. On one side is the internet we have now, where your identity is chopped up into little pieces and controlled by dozens of different companies. On the other side is their vision, one single unified identity that is 100% owned and controlled by you. So what do you actually get? Well, the list is pretty impressive. A sovereign identity that no corporation or government controls. Physical hardware they claim is unhackable. A way to communicate securely without a SIM card, even a private gateway for your finances. It's designed to be an entire toolkit to protect you from all those problems we talked about at the start. So in the end, the pitch is that this isn't just another social network or a new app. It's meant to be a single, unified system that wraps your entire digital life in a layer of security and trust. And that brings us to the biggest, most ambitious part of this whole vision. What a network like this could mean for society as a whole. I mean, just look at some of these potential uses. If you have a network where every single person is verified and real, you could have truly secure democratic voting. You could have online stores with zero fraud. You could have unfakeable art. You could have completely private conversations with your doctor or lawyer. They're not just talking about a new internet. They're talking about a new civilization layer. And they claim this foundation is permanent because it's built on these 4 pillars. The idea is that because it's truly decentralized, anchored to real people and their hardware, it can't be hacked, shut down, corrupted, or controlled by any single entity. So when you boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? According to the documents, this whole project isn't just about technology. It's an attempt to fix what they see as a fundamental breakdown in society. The end goal is to use this technology to build a world where we can actually trust each other online again. And that really leaves us with the same provocative question that the source material poses. If it were possible to build a network on a perfect foundation of truth, a network that solved the trust problem once and for all, would it be the last network humanity ever needs to build? It's a huge question and something to think about.